So I started to get ill about 20 years ago. It started with migraines that would go off from any kind of thing. It could be light, it could be sound, it could have been taste or smell, whatever, but it could cause a migraine. And in the beginning, those would last like a few hours. Then they started to be longer and longer and longer, so that they actually could take like 3 or 4 or even 5 months before they were over. So about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cluster headache, which is a really severe pain. In my case, it was behind my left eye, and it was a pain so big that I wanted to rip off my eye. And it took months every year when I was just basically invalid because of that horrible pain behind my eyes. And that was the reason why my head was scanned with MRI, and they found lesions there. The lesions that looked like I had MS disease, multiple sclerosis, and it was a really frightening thing to hear, because being able to run and move and do things with my body had been so important to me. And then I heard that, okay, this is, you have this illness that will cause you to be perhaps in a wheelchair or something. And it didn't take long after that when I had all the MS symptoms. So I would have these pains all over my body, these tingling sensation, burning sensations. I would have vision problems. I couldn't see colors. I would see these flashing things or floaters in my eyes. I had hearing problems, so I would hear noises where there weren't any noises, or I couldn't hear with my other eye or ear or something. And I would have panic attacks if I would leave the house, because I was so afraid that something in the environment would cause something in my body, so I would not leave. So basically my whole family was being hostage by this illness. Then I began to think that I might have borreliosis, Lyme's disease, or Bartonella or Babesia, and they were all tested positive also. I also had chronic fatigue syndrome, so I was really tired all the time. So basically I had lost my health completely, and my quality of life was there was no quality in my life. It was all about the disease. It was about how I could get by from one day to another. There was no joy or any kind of future. I didn't see any future for me. So I have been trying different medications for migraine, tens of different medications. For cluster syndrome, I had pure oxygen that I would breathe even 20 times a day. That was helpful. That is good. I tried many vitamins and other supplements for borreliosis and Bartonella and Babesia. They didn't help. Then I went to Poland to get antibiotics for these Bartonella, borreliosis and Lyme's and Babesia. And then I really crashed. I was in horrible state for a few months. I couldn't even walk with these antibiotics. And then I got Clostridium, which is a bacterial that causes severe diarrhea. And then I was hospitalized. So I was in hospital. And the Clostridium stayed in my intestines, so I would have a chronic Clostridium infection. So at that point, which is actually only 9 months ago, I had nothing. I didn't have any healthy part in my body, and I felt that I was going to die. And I was actually thinking about how could I die and cause as little pain for my family as possible, because I have 3 children and a husband. So it was a nightmare, and we were living in our house, isolated from other people, and everything was concentrated on me and my symptoms. So it really wasn't a life at all. Then I saw an article in a newspaper that was about DNR Us program, and there something just clicked. I knew that that was the missing link for me, because I'm a biologist and also a teacher. So during this illness, I had been reading everything I could for these diseases that I had or diagnosed. I had been diagnosed with. So I'd done a lot of reading. I knew a lot, but I knew that there's something that I didn't understand. So there I saw that this is the part that has been missing from everything, and I felt relieved the moment I read that article. And I read that article many times. I ordered the DVDs the same day, and I really waited for them to come. And I started to improve so fast. It took maybe a few days when I was feeling much better. In a month, I could even put the Clostridium back. I could put the Clostridium back. I know that it's hard to believe, but I could actually put down bacteria with this. And so maybe about 2 months, I started to do some sports again. And I was being more happier. I was not that tired anymore. Maybe around that time I went back to work. Not that hard, but anyway, I went back to work, and I knew that I was going to be well. So the feeling that when you know that after you have been feeling like you're going to die for more than a year, the feeling that you get when you know that you are just going to be healthy again and everything is going to be possible again, it is just fantastic. And so after that, I kept practicing, kept getting better, and maybe about 5 months after I began, I was completely well. So I rewarded myself, and I went to Kenya to work in this conservation area with elephants and zebras and rhinos and all those animals. So for 4 weeks I was just driving around that area with the game rangers, and it was fabulous. And then I went to Mount Kenya, which is a 4,990 meters high mountain. It was a 5 days hike up there and back, and I was just fine. I was just perfect. I could eat anything. I could tolerate anything. You know, nothing can get me now. So I'm just completely healthy, and I can do anything with my life. So for anyone who is thinking about doing DNRS program, I fully recommend it, because it saved my life. It is non-invasive, so there is no danger in doing it. And it can only make you feel happy, healthy, and balanced. For me, I think I also found a lot of things about myself I didn't understand before, because before I was just running the wheel all the time. I was so busy with my life that I was actually getting nowhere because I was so busy. So now I can know how to focus on things that are really important to me, and then the others are not that important, so I don't need to pay attention to those things. So I truly recommend doing the DNRS program.